Hi there and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette and I'm joined by former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champs Chris Nilan and Rick Green. Rick, the Canadiens power play has been firing on all cylinders since Ivan Demidov was put on the first unit, clicking close to 50%. What can you say about this kid?
Just a deadly group overall. I mean, these guys are passing the puck. They are in movement. They are causing so much confusion for the penalty killers. And when they get the opportunity, they don't miss much. And I've got to give Demidov, full marks in what he brings to the power play unit. I mean, when he works that half wall and he is a threat to either shoot if the goalie is taking a passive route, or if the goalies are aggressive, he throws that seam pass to one of the guys that's just happened to get into that area for a one-timer with Suzuki or, Caulfield. So they just have some really great, smart players that take what's given to them, and they're going to be together and they're going to be dangerous for a long time when you see what they're bringing to date and just how they're starting to make things happen. And they're going to scare a lot of hockey teams in taking bad penalties. It's going to cost them big time.
Knuckles, people talk about his offense, but the kid's 19 years old. He already seems to play a 200-foot game. I mean, there's a lot to like about this kid.
Well, he better play a 200-foot game because, none of this, I'll take my time coming back. Because Marty certainly has instilled some things in these kids that, if they're not doing it, they're going to hear it. And he's going to work with them and he's going to teach them. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the PP, look when they struggled, right? I remember coming on here, we talk, they were all, a couple guys moved, but they were stationary. Everybody moves on this thing. Everybody. And you got elusive players like Demidov and Hudson, Caulfield. These guys that, and certainly Nick. I mean, cool Nick. Nick is cool as a cucumber with it. He just really, what a play he made to Slavkovsky on that goal, right? The tap-in goal the other night. Incredible play. And Slavkovsky knowing when to get there, not just standing there so he can get tied up with a D-man. He drifted in, and the timing was perfect. So there's a lot of movement by everybody, and that opens things up. And when you have such good players, talent-wise, like that, they exploit those defenders, and things open up when you move and you move the puck like they do. So it's awesome to watch, right? It's awesome to watch. Special teams important. They get that PK up there. Forget about it. Look, that they got to get that PK up there, and you look at the combination of both of them. It's incredible, what they're doing, and good on the players and certainly the coaching staff for coming up with those schemes. And it's fun to watch.
Well, Marty said one of the reasons he held off putting Demidov on the first power play unit is because he wanted him to show that he was committed to playing a defensive game, and he wasn't just going to hand it to him. The kid's so exciting. I mean, is he the most exciting guy you've seen with the Canadiens since your old buddy Guy Lafleur, Chris?
Yeah, come on. This is a guy, Hudson, Demidov, right? People go to the rink because they want to see Connor McDavid, this one, that one. People come to see these kids play. Not that they don't come to see the other guy, but you want to see Demidov. You want to see him do that stuff. Hudson, Caulfield, you want to see him score goals, right? So these guys put fannies in the seats, not just in this building, around the league. So, yeah, exciting player to watch. I remember, right, the first game he come in here, the building was electric. They were like, oh, my God. And that continues. When he gets the puck, everybody's excited. And certainly, the kid, he's a special player.
Well, Rick, fans love watching the power play. The Canadiens, after the game against Philly, was ranked 6th in the NHL with a 30.8% success rate. The PK, I know you played a lot of PK in your career, hasn't been so good. They rank 22nd in the NHL. What's your concern with the PK? What do you think the problem has been there?
Well, for me, as we've mentioned a number of times, your best penalty killer is your goalie. They're not necessarily getting that save when they need it. But more importantly, and it was funny, I was with Ivan Demidov the other day, and he called the penalty killers candles. Look at the 4 candles standing there and, not moving. And my experience has been, you have to be a little more aggressive in your rotation to put pressure on the opposition so you're not predictable and saying a very, very conservative, stationary box. And I think that all the teams that have success on their penalty killing, they have to understand when it's time to be aggressive and when it's time to be passive. And right now I see them struggling a little bit. They're caught in between. I don't think they totally know whether or not they should be aggressive. They have almost like lines on the ice where they can't go beyond that if the player gets to a certain situation. So I would like to see them free that up a little bit more by saying, you know what, let's be more aggressive. If you get beat, you get beat, but they are going to have to make a good tic-tac-toe play, good passes, because they're going to be under pressure more in different areas on their power play than just standing there and saying, okay, guys, go ahead, move it where you want, when you want, because we're not going any further than here. So anyways, I'm sure there's a lot of discussions. We used to talk about it quite often, but I think you can learn when you see other teams' success rate, what they're doing, and how effective it is. To be aggressive is tough to play against.
Hey, Knuckles, I watched that Crave documentary on your life and your time with the Canadiens, which is outstanding. And one of the things that made me chuckle is the Canadiens put you on the power play. And Dick Irvin in the broadcast booth said, "What's Chris Nilan doing on the power play?" And then you scored, and he went, "Well, Dick, that's what Chris Nilan is doing on the power play." What do you remember about that back in your career?
We didn't have any other players on the bench. We just needed a big, large body that would just stand in there and guess who fit the mix.
Well, here's the deal. Thank you for the compliment, Rick. But if you notice, I was put on the power play where? On the road, folks. On the road, okay? Because I would go to the front of the net. I would battle. And that's why I was on the power play, Dick. And no, it's funny. I remember that because when I was getting ready for the show, that one-man show, I had got a bunch of these tapes my parents had, and I'm watching this tape, and it comes on, and Dick Irvin goes, Chris Nilan on the power play? I sound surprised, and I am. And then the play goes, and I go to the front of the net, and the puck went back to Larry, and he threw a wrist shot at the net. And the rebound came to me, and the D-man was on my back, and I reached out back on my backhand and threw it up top. And then he goes, "That's what he's doing on the power play, Dick." Now, I saw Dick Irvin. Remember we went last year, Greeny, to Le Gaumont? I saw Dick there. He was there having lunch. And I went up and I sat with him and talked to him for like 15 minutes. And I brought that up to him. And he was laughing. God bless him. He still goes up there every week. Dick Irvin, institution here in Montreal, and just a good guy. But that was funny.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, on the road again, plug me in.
Well, people haven't watched it yet on Crave. It's really fantastic. Dick Irvin, I wrote a column on a couple of years ago when he turned 90. Still sharp as a tack. He remembers details and scores and everything else, and also one of the nicest men you'd meet. Did you have something you wanted to say there, Rick? Sorry, I think I cut you off.
No, I just could echo Dick. Just a unbelievably sharp guy, and at his age he's still pretty good to exchange, and I wish him really well.
Well, Dick, I'm not sure if you watch our show here, but if you do, hi from all of us there, and I hope you're doing well. Anyway, that's it for this bonus episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll have one more bonus episode coming up ahead of next week's Hockey Inside Out show, which is every Wednesday. Meanwhile, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel.